This adorable ghoulish Halloween kit laying out here. Spread some love. All right, so let me start because I'm not going to cut this one. We're only going to cut the border stripe mesh. So I'm going to start right here, and we're going to cut this in 20-inch strips. We need 18 of these in 20-inch strips. So we'll get cutting those while I catch up on your comments, y'all. Whew. And Gary is serenading us tonight, so if you listen very carefully, I do have the door closed, but if you listen carefully, you can hear him in the background, right? The nice thing with 20-inch cuts on this is it's going to use up almost 100% of this roll of mesh. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is that border stripe mesh. Okay, we're cutting it at 20 inches. And I'm just going to go all the way to the end of the roll because it should come out to about 18. And there we go. There we go. I'm going to leave this just as it is. And we're going to actually do a poof method on the bottom. Actually on the first layer, that's what I mean to say, on the first layer. So if you know what I mean with a poof method, if you've ever worked with 21-inch mesh, this is kind of the same thing that you would do with 21-inch mesh. So I'm just kind of bring it together. I've got a little bit of a tail, but on this one, I'm going to start on the top. And I'm just going to put that right in there. And I'm going to pull, I'm going to measure it. I'm going to go to this twist tie and go to the second twist tie on the top. And that's going to give me about 10 to 11 inches somewhere along in there. I'm going to hold it, mark it right here, so where that mark was, and then I'm going to bring it back to this first one. Actually, that one's a little bit long, so let's see. Let's see how many inches that actually is going to come out to be. I don't want to get too much. Come to here, come straight across to here, push back, and we have our first poof. And I'm going to do this over and over again. With the poof method, I always start on the top. So again, I'm just going to repeat it. Go past this one. I'm going to throw this on the floor because otherwise it'll get in my way. I'm going to go past this one over to here, kind of pull it taut, and push it back here. And that way all of my poofs will be very equal in size because I'm measuring each one the same way. It's lots of fun. So now that I'm done with the top, I'm going to show you where I'm going to leave off, or what I'm going to do next. So to transition down to the bottom, I'm just simply going to pull a small section. See how tight I have it or pulled together? And I'm just going to put it right there in that twist tie. Give it just a little twist to hold it in place. And then I'm going to resume measuring. I'm going to skip past this one, go over here, gather it where that mark is, where that measurement was at, and come back to the twist tie. So we're just going to continue measuring the same exact way. pull past this one, go to the very next one on the bottom. And I do kind of gather it so that I know the poof, see how that poof is? So when I get back here, my poof is in the right shape. It keeps its shape. We gotta have the right shape. Or it's just me with a heavy hand. All right, so I'm on the last one. I've put my last poof right in here, but I'm just going to simply pull out a portion of this and I'm gonna cut it off. And we're just gonna bring that back, around back. Now I can take a pipe cleaner or a zip tie and attach it. And I'm just gonna use a zip tie because I know it's not gonna show through when I get done. But that'll secure my mesh to that frame right there. I'm gonna do a little bit of curl on the end and then ruffle this up. Let's see if you guys can see it. Yes. So it's gonna be a smaller, these are 20-inch cuts, but I'm going to put that right into that twist tie. And I did the curl side down. So we have that little buffalo. I add time. So here is the base. And 101. And here's the sign we're going to be using. So this is a 12.5-inch wood sign. It's got the boo. And of course, there's the black mesh, and it looks like there's only a couple of rolls left. And then of course, we have some ribbon coming up on deck. But let's get our sign ready to attach. So we've got to know where we're going to attach it. And more than likely, my guy is going to go right down here, a little offset to the right, the bottom right. So I'm going to add a tie, a pipe cleaner right in this vicinity. Definitely here. Where's this other? There we go. One here and here. And sometimes it's just easier to mark them. There and there. And this one's gonna go right up here and one right there. And right there. All right, now we can grab our, I use pipe cleaners. Navy blue is not gonna look cool. I think I have some black down here. I'm gonna use some pipe cleaners and I'm going to attach them with my staple gun. I do only use 1/4 inch staples, so I know that it's not gonna go through my sign. But if you're doing this at home, do a test area first before you put staples in your sign so you don't ruin your sign, potentially. Gun warming up over here, so we're gonna add a touch of hot glue right on top of those staples to help hold them in place. And that's the only thing we should need our glue gun for. Okay, while that glue is setting up, I'm gonna set that sign aside. And if you joined us after the live started, then you haven't seen these gorgeous ribbon that we're gonna be using. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and make a couple of bows. Well, this is the 2.5 inch horizontal stripe in orange and black. So we're gonna start out our bottom bow with about a 6 inch tail and a 6 inch loop over here. I'm gonna bring that up there. 6 inch loop here. And here. Then we're gonna go and use some of these. Hey, Debbie. This is one of my favorite ribbon. This is a glitter harlequin in black and white. I love this at Halloween. I love it. I actually use this in a lot of different designs. It goes well with several different designs. So I'm gonna make this also a 6 inch loop and 6 inch tail. And I'm just gonna make that go opposite the first one. Then we're gonna come in with our 2.5 inch, our little ghost in the orange and black. And this one's gonna come in a little bit shorter. I'll have to trim that off, but that's where the fold is, so I know that one will be a little bit shorter. Bring it in a little so that I can see the ribbon that's behind it. The black and white. And then the 2.5 inch ghost is what? 107, sold 107. So this one is also going to be a 5 inch. And of course, I'll trim all of these down, the tails, here shortly. And of course, the secret to this part is to have them shorter than the ones so that you can see the ribbon behind them, right? Now, if you are afraid that, or already feel like you're going to not be able to cover up the center of your bow, so if you think you're gonna see the pipe cleaner or zip tie or whatever underneath there, you can always do that extra loop, that short loop, and of course you'll have a couple of extra tails because of it, but that's okay if it covers it up, and we can always do that way. And then we can cover that. We can use that to manipulate it here in just a moment. All right, so I'm gonna take my 22 gauge wire, cut off a healthy piece. Where are my wire cutters? Yay. Oh, there they are. Go right on top of that little loop one that we made. my wire about where I need it to be. Make sure all my ribbon is facing the right direction and give it a couple of twists. Perfect. All right, so now I've got that good and tight in there. Karen, isn't it though? So where we put that little extra loop, now when I bring it out, it's gonna cover that wire that's in there. So it just kind of covers that up. I'm gonna go back and dovetail all of these, but first I wanna get a couple more bows made. Loops on the bottom. This is gonna have more of a 5-inch. So this one's gonna go a lot faster because I kind of explained it more on the first one. So 1 loop at the 5-inch. We're gonna use that 2-inch glitter harlequin, also 5-inch. And our cute, now when you have cute ribbon like this, by bringing it closer to the top of your bow, you're going to be able to see more of it. So rather than use this as the very first ribbon or the bottom ribbon, I want to bring this up a little bit closer to the top so it's a little more prominent in my design. And last but not least, we're going to use this one and do more of a 4-inch. And this time, instead of doing a separate little loop, we'll just continue. We'll do a 3rd loop and make it that short one. And I will pull them back up for you. Make sure I've got that turned off. And let's get our wreath back out. See what it looks like on the other side. Perfect placement. Yes. And of course, when I shake it, my sign should not move, right? So I did make 3 different sizes of ribbons, of bows. And we're going to strategically place them. So let me dovetail a few of these ends. And I'm trying to keep the dovetails from falling into the mesh, of course. I like to have different sizes of tails in my bows. Sometimes completely symmetrical does not jive with me, with maybe the vibe I'm going for. So sometimes it's just going to be different layers, different lengths. Boom, boom, boom. I feel like there was still one more, but it'll come out in the wash, right? Okay, there it is. There's one. Yay. All right, so this is the largest of the three. And so I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring it kind of right across here from my boo sign. Now, keep in mind when I add the bow, I'm not going to put it inside of a twist tie because then it could potentially get sucked down into the wreath. So I'm going to put it right here on top of that mesh. It's just going to go floating right on top of that mesh. He's more like this angle. Now, when we add our other bows, they're going to go here. Oops, I lost one. Oh. And one is going to go over here. So to the left, to the right of our big one. How about that? Absolutely take your design from very professional to, yeah, almost trying too hard, right? Vanessa, I'm loving it too. I love these colors. I love the way the boo is popping out, right? Let's see. I can't really back off and the one thing I hate about this view is I can't show you like a really good, oops, sorry guys. Let me try and go up. Nope, that's as far as I can go up. But I can't really show you a good wide angle view of the finished design. And yeah, there we go.